Over the past year, I have been on quite a journey. I am happy to say I am currently down 43 pounds. I have more energy than I've had in years. My libido is happy and healthy, and I finally feel like I'm coming back home to myself. But it wasn't always this way. For a long time, I think too long to mention, I struggled with depression and anxiety, and I didn't even realize those were two of the more than 80 possible symptoms of menopause. Like so many women, I thought I just needed to push harder, eat cleaner, or try a new workout. But no matter what I did, something still felt off. And that was until I discovered hormone replacement therapy and began getting real answers. Welcome to Nourish with Michelle Fox, your guide to living a vibrant life after 40. If you have ever struggled with consistency in your self care or felt confused about how to truly support your body during this season of life, you are in the right place, my friend. Over this 8-part series, you'll hear inspiring, educational, and real conversations designed to help you nourish your mind, body, and soul so you can feel strong, confident, and fully alive. I am thrilled to share this 8-part series with my guest expert, Kimberly Cunningham. Kimberly is a board certified nurse practitioner who has been serving Colorado for over 20 years. She brings a wealth of experience from emergency medicine to internal medicine to healthy aging clinics. And she's the founder of Cunningham Clinic. After recovering from a life-changing injury through hormone replacement therapy, Kimberly has dedicated her career to helping people look and feel better through functional medicine and aesthetics. She's also a published author, a faculty member at multiple universities, and a national trainer for Biote Medical and Allergan Aesthetics. Her passion shines through in every patient she serves. And before we dive in, I want to share an important note. I personally seek treatment from Kimberly at Cunningham Clinic, but nothing in these conversations is meant to diagnose or treat you. Please consult your own provider before making any medical decisions. So, let's talk about what it really takes to thrive in this chapter of life. Kimberly Cunningham, you are here.
I'm here.
Oh my goodness, this is sincerely a dream. I have been wanting to share you with my community for so very long. I know I've already told you at least 10 times, and I probably will tell you 1,000 more times, but you have sincerely changed my life. So I just want to start off by saying thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm getting goosebumps even as I'm saying that. I'm like, I mean, we are going to get into it.
Yeah.
We are doing 8 episodes. So, community, you are so lucky to have this woman in our presence because we have 8 episodes to get all the nitty gritty.
And we're talking about everything.
We are.
Everything.
We're talking about hormones. We're talking about HRT. We're talking about sex. We're talking about what it feels to be a woman over 40.
Mhm.
We're talking about confidence, like the confidence that I have had since I started working with you. I believe it's been a year and some months. I started in May, I think. So we started first HRT in May. And then, oh, see, I still want to get into the details. Okay, I won't get into the details yet, but I will say, and then shortly after that, I started on the tirzepatide.
Mhm.
All of the above. My sex drive through the roof in just the right ways that I wanted. So, improved my marriage, improved just the way my body looks, my confidence, like the way I walk, the way I relate to people. Like, I mean, this is a game
When you
changer.
move in dance class.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Kimberly actually got me back into dance class with her. So we get a little nasty too. I don't know. I don't know if we'll share it with the crew for our friends who are watching on YouTube.
It's a great
might
hip hop dance
break
class.
some moves.
Yeah.
Break out some moves. But I just wanted to start off keeping it high level because we're going to get into the details soon. But I know why this is important for me to share you with my community is because I don't want women suffering, specifically women over 40 when the hormones are changing. And we've been told forever, well, you just have to deal with it. You just have to suffer through it. And I'll share some more of my
Yeah.
personal stories later. But
Why is this so important to you? Like, how did you come to this work?
So, first of all, I'm a board certified nurse practitioner. I am on faculty at two universities and I teach for a medical education company called BioT Medical. And I came into healthcare because I love it. And then I came into this facet of healthcare, which is functional wellness and hormone replacement therapy because of an injury that I sustained. And we'll get into our actual stories here. But my practice, Cunningham Clinic, I started 10 years ago. It's 10 years this year.
Congratulations.
We are a collection of board certified nurse practitioners and nurses.
Who the team is amazing.
Yeah,
by
we have
the
a team of
way.
7 now.
You know how to hire them. I'm like everybody in your office. Like I sincerely, I walk in and I'm like, oh, I am the queen apparently because they take care of all my needs. They have my records right there. They know me by name.
I have a
You
great
hired
team.
great
Thank you.
people.
I'm
Yeah.
also the only fully bilingual Spanish hormone expert clinic in the state of Colorado right now, where every touch point is bilingual English and Spanish. So I started off in 1999 working in the ER and then stayed in the ER through nurse practitioner certification. So it was interesting. My husband once, I was repairing a puffy coat of our daughter's. It had a little L-shaped tear, and he said, I didn't know you knew how to sew. Where did you learn how to sew? And I said, people. So I can't make a pillowcase.
So Kimberly.
Please don't ask me to, like, I can't make a dress or a pillowcase, but I'm great at repair work. And then from there, I went into geriatrics and internal medicine for a number of years, and then had my injury, which we'll talk about. And then I opened my own practice, and then very quickly realized there's not enough people who do what I do. And so that's why I'm an educator as well. I can't possibly see all of the patients. I need other people to be as good at this as I am so that all of the women have access to quality care.
I mean, I can't say it enough. So grateful that you're willing to do the work, to pour into people, not only into your staff, but to your clients, to your friends around you. Like, thank you. Literally, thank you, God, for bringing us Kimberly. So let's just jump into it. Like, I would love to know more about your personal story. Like, we know the bio, we read that earlier. We know all of your degrees. We know you're very, very well accomplished, but this is personal for you.
Yes. So I'm an athlete. You are also an athlete. We share competitive dance in our histories. So I was a competitive dancer. I danced for the Jacksonville Ballet. When I lived in Florida, I danced for the University of Florida. I did fitness competitions. I also was a triathlete.
Oh my
And my
goodness.
last race,
I knew that.
yeah,
You.
my
Oh,
last race,
that
but
surprised
18
me.
months before my injury, I had a top 10 finish. And it was a sprint triathlon, not a full.
Don't even try to diminish it. Anything you say with a triathlon in it, it's amazing.
Yes, the people that do the Ironmans are of a different breed.
Agreed.
They're amazing.
Agreed.
But I was doing sprint triathlons. I had a top 10 finish, and I had no intention of not being an athlete. And so I know how to train. I know how to do hard things. You just decide I'm going to get from here to there, break down the steps. Some of them are going to be hard. You just get there. And halfway through my second pregnancy with our son, my pelvis spontaneously failed.
That just sounds so painful.
22 weeks of 40,
Okay.
and I couldn't walk anymore.
Oh, shoot.
And I couldn't work, and I couldn't think, and I couldn't anything because my pelvis, you have a joint in the front of your pelvis called the pubic symphysis.
Okay.
And then around back of your pelvis, you have two joints called the iliosacral joints or SI joints.
Okay.
And those three joints make your pelvic ring. All three of mine effectively melted over a 10-day window. It's called an open book fracture when you're run over by a bus. And mine was a combination of, it turns out I have Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder. I have a congenitally misshapen pelvis, didn't know.
Oh.
And I made too much relaxin in that pregnancy too soon. Relaxin is how you open your pelvis at the very end to have a baby.
Yeah.
And so that was a disaster.
Right, because it's like your body's like trying to get rid of the baby, it sounds like, right?
So now we're trying to not have a baby at 22 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's a boy. The boys don't do well when they're premature.
Wait, and side note, your daughter, how old was she at this time?
4.
Oh, so and she needs mommy right now. Yes. So,
and fun fact, that's when my husband was officing out of Oklahoma City. So he got on a plane every Monday and left until Friday.
No.
It was insane.
Oh, that is a tornado.
Yeah, a tornado. Yeah, it was so hard. I can't tell you how many times I looked at the ceiling and I was like, I get that you're trying to teach me something here, But God, if you could just turn down the awful, maybe I would have the bandwidth to hear what you're trying to get me.
Like, what is the real message here?
And so I had 13 specialists over 16 weeks trying to drag me through that pregnancy. And we did. And my son is 15 now and he has his driver's permits. And he's almost 5'11" and he's doing great. Yeah. So he never got the memo on being a preemie, but he was born at 36 weeks in one day. That's as far as I could go.
Wait, just take a step back though. Like when you said your pelvis did this, it opened up.
It was all broken. Yeah.
Like, did they immediately rush you to the hospital? Or
no, I wouldn't stay in the hospital because I knew that they would take him before his lungs were ready. So I stayed home with a fetal monitor that I was monitoring because I knew they would take him too soon.
And because you had your nursing and your medical background.
Well, I was midwifery before I was adult geriatrics. So I know just enough to be dangerous, but I knew that they would take him too soon. And he needed to have his lungs. And I thought, well, I can do the hard a little bit longer. He has an entire life to have lungs that work. So I had a baby. He had a baby and he was healthy. I was not.
So let's say, I imagine your body's still torn apart at this point, right?
And so they thought,
wait,
well,
and was it C-section that they ultimately had to? You still birthed him through the canal. Oh, Kimberly.
The only thing holding my body together was rectus abdominis, or my stomach muscles. That's all I had left. Oh, wow. You can't cut them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was a surgical grade.
If you're squeamish like me, stick with me. We're gonna get to the fun part.
Yeah.
But this is part of your story, and it definitely plays into how you've come to the place to heal and help so many of us.
It was a surgical grade epidural, Pitocin induced delivery, and a lot of hoping for the best, and that went well. And then they waited. All 4 orthopedic pelvic trauma surgeons said, let's wait and see if it heals. Didn't heal. And then we tried shots and that didn't work. And physical therapy, nothing would work because nothing could hold me together. And so then we started surgeries. By the way, I was in a wheelchair this whole time. I didn't walk for 4 years.
Oh, Kimberly.
I mean, I could shuffle a little bit and I had a walker and a cane, but anything more than 1 city block was a wheelchair.
And again, I keep going back to your poor daughter who's 4, it sounds like through 8, and they're like super active during that time and they want mommy to hold them. And you're like, I'm sorry, baby.
I held my kids.
So you were able to hold them.
You just hold your kids.
Oh, well, that speaks to the mother's instincts.
Right.
There you go. Okay.
It hurt a lot, but you hold your kids.
Really?
Yeah. And you don't flinch. That they can't see that either.
But you don't in the past, and they're amazing now, but I'm feeling all the feels for what you guys were going through.
Yeah, that was a long time. And then, we just had help. We had an army of help. And I had 10 surgeries over 2 years to Humpty Dumpty all the broken parts back together again.
Oh my gosh.
And
that is
and I brought some of the hardware.
I want to see it. Is that what this is right here?
This is.
Oh my Lord.
That is a 4-inch bolt.
4 inches. So this was, wait, can you remember or know where this was?
This one was in my right, in my back.
Ooh.
That was there.
Okay.
Here are 2 more in the corresponding left side. If you can, for those of you that are listening and not watching, the big one is about 4.5 inches long. I have 2 more that are 3.5 to 4 inches long bolts. Like you could build a house with these.
Seriously.
And then
for our listeners, you can hear how heavy this hardware is. Oh my word.
So there are 21 bolts and screws and 5 plates. So another collection.
So you were a nightmare going through TSA, I imagine.
Oh yeah, I went to pat down every time.
Yeah,
that's where we're going as soon as you see the X-ray.
Yeah,
this was all in the front.
Oh, Kimberly,
but these curved ones were in the pubic symphysis in the front.
These look like they could be like grills. You put in your mouth.
And then these long ones.
That is.
Long ones to anchor went through the bones. And this is why I couldn't sit because I would have to sit.
Oh, because they're so sharp and pointy.
That's why they had to come back out. Right. And we're going to talk about sexual wellness. There's no sex, but this is heading towards the vaginal vault.
No.
There's no sex.
No.
For years.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have an amazing husband. And then this was all on my back.
Okay. Again, the sounds. It's like a whole bag full of, oh my gosh. I'm seriously full body goosebumps. I cannot even imagine having this.
It all
like touching my body, much less be inside my body.
Yeah. And so,
Kimberly. Oh my word.
And they all had to come out because I would get better and I would start building muscle, and then the muscle would start hitting that point, and then Charlie horse. And Charlie horses that crush your pelvic floor are really not fun.
No, I can only imagine.
I had to go back in and take it all out. But it's fun. It's, I get to play with it now. And when my son was little, because it started going in when he was 18 months old and started coming back out when he was about 3.5.
Okay.
And so he would run over and say, "Hey, mommy, let's put these back in."
Oh. That sounds very much like a boy. Let's build some things. Let's put it together.
He's like, "I'll go get the screwdriver." And like, buddy, these don't go back in.
Yeah, no thanks. You're
Disappointed.
Oh. But then take us like from all of the hardware to like now you're vibrant. You and I are twerking together in dance class. Like, how do we go from wheelchair hardware to this?
So we did all of this work. We did, and those of you that know me know that I will nerd out every time you let me.
Yes, we love that. One of the many things we love about you.
Those of you that don't know me, I don't make less than 100 on the test ever. And if I do, we're going to have words about why that's a poorly worded question or why it's wrong. And everybody's like, "Why does that matter?" I'm like, it always matters. I take students from Regis University, their nurse practitioner program. I take students from the University of Colorado. And the first time a student says to me, "How much of this do I need to know?" we have a sit down. If they even hint at it again, they're out, and I'm not finding them another clinical placement. And if
Tell me more about that. Because I know how I'm taking that, but how are you taking that?
When you're in healthcare, you have to know it all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You have to know it. You can't just let me Google that. Let me, there's apps like UpToDate. There's different ways to look things up. You have to know it right now.
Thank you.
You have in regular American healthcare, you maybe have 15 minutes, maybe, if they didn't double book your doctor. And there's no time to look things up. So if they don't know it, they're not going to know it, and you don't get good care. So when I'm teaching, they have to know everything. They have to know everything that I'm there to teach them, and they have to be able to articulate it 100% accurately the next week because we're moving on.
Good.
That's the kind of Socratic instructor I am. And if they don't like it, they're welcome to leave. And those two universities know that there's very few students who can survive a clinical rotation with me. And they're very careful who they send to me. And I've hired 2. They're very careful. And when they're good, I will keep them.
So side note, because we definitely need to hear the end of the story. Yes. Well, there's no ending, but the story to get you here. But I just want to add, for my doctor, and what was a big push for me to come see you, female doctor, all female staff, when I came to her and I let her know how painful sex was, Kimberly, I'm not even kidding, it felt like broken glass every time. And poor Steve, I mean, as you know, hot husband, we both have hot husbands, who are we kidding? I'm like, to be able to have to say no to him, it broke my heart. But I'm like, having sex with you is so painful. And when I go to my female doctor, she's like, "Here's some estrogen, it'll get better." And so I would do the estrogen and it would just get worse. And then I remember I was doing all the things I was told. And by the way, I'm a nutritionist, so I'm teaching women, drink more water, avoid the gluten, avoid the sugar, avoid the alcohol, the caffeine, all the things. I was doing all the things, and yet I was still gaining weight. My confidence was dipping. Steve was like, "I want to touch you, but I don't want you to get upset." It was this whole dance in between us. And the fact that my doctor is like, "Just take some estrogen." She didn't take the time to learn from you. And so again, thank you. And so tell me.
Well, it is so hard to live in a body that can't be touched.
Yes, it's brutal.
The number one decade for a woman to be prescribed an antidepressant is 45 to 55. The number one decade for a woman to get divorced is age 45 to 55. Yeah. Now, there are some stories out there to where, she got her kids grown and she's has enough of the third kid that she married. Right?
I've heard those stories.
Those stories, but most of the time, it's, we're pack animals. We are supposed to touch each other. We are shared orgasm is how you get your oxytocin levels. We are designed to love each other. And when you can't be touched, that's a problem. I lived in a body that couldn't be touched for almost 4 years. And so we went through all the surgeries to come back to why I have my practice. So obviously I wasn't working, wasn't doing anything. So over this 4-year window, all these surgeries, the bones were finally together, but I still wasn't better. And I was still exhausted, and I was going to physical therapy, and I couldn't put muscle back on. I was winded. I mean, I finally could climb a flight of stairs, but I was winded at the top of it. And there was no getting the muscle tone back. And I went to a lab review class. I was thinking about picking up a half shift of urgent care. I was trying to stitch together a life. And I thought, well, I need some CMEs and I'll go to this lab review class. It was offered on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Pezzi is the company that does it for those of you that work in healthcare. And there's 200 seats in the room. So you walk into this big auditorium. I picked Thursday.
Okay.
It's the day I had a driver in childcare because I still wasn't driving a car regularly.
Got
This
it.
is a problem.
Of course.
And
You can
so-
have your independence.
So I go in on a Thursday, 200 seats. Way up on the left is this really cute patchwork style bag. And I thought, oh, I'm going to sit next to that bag because she was probably an interesting person. It wound up being this woman I'd gone to grad school with. And back then, she knew me because I auditioned for Broncos cheerleaders.
Of course you did. I so love this about you.
I auditioned for the Nuggets dancers as well. I
Love
made top 50 for both. And one of them, I got my picture in the paper, which was fun.
love it.
And I just like having a race, having an audition, having a deadline coming up for me is a really good motivator to work out an extra hard and to do. Thank God I didn't make it. I didn't have time for it, but I made top 50 and I thought, uh-oh. But
Now what?
What? But it's fine.
Yes.
So she knew me when I was doing the Miss Fitness Colorado competitions and training for Broncos auditions. And now she sees me on a walker.
She's
She
like,
said,
how
"What
did
happened?"
this happen? Yeah.
So we got to talking and she said, well, why aren't you on testosterone? Why aren't you doing BioT? I said, what is that? Because at that point, I'm 42. I don't need HRT. I'm not in menopause. I had the same woefully inadequate education in my graduate school that everybody gets, which is basically zero. And so she started talking about testosterone for women and muscle tone and pain relief and bone density and sex drive and all the things.
Yes, all the things.
And I thought, okay, that really resonates.
Yes.
And why didn't I get taught this? Why don't I know about this? Because obviously if I don't know about something, I'm going to fix that post haste. So I started researching testosterone for women and European dosing and got my blood drawn.
Okay.
Women's total testosterone should be around 80, give or take, and free testosterone should be 7 to 15.
Okay.
And I was at 7 total and 0 free.
Oh,
At none.
your body.
No testosterone. Physical therapy was never going to work. And actually, because I'm tenacious and no one's going to get in my way, I'm going to get there or I'm going to die trying. Like we're doing the things.
Of course.
Hard is just part of the process.
Of course.
If I need to memorize something to take care of people, I'm going to memorize it. If I need to work really hard to get muscles, I'm going to do that. You just do the things.
I love about you.
We're women. Have you met us? We do the
Exactly.
things.
We do what it
Do the
takes.
things.
Yes.
And the more I worked, the fatter I got faster. Because without testosterone, when you work out, you're breaking down muscle without the possibility of building it back up. So now I see this when women come into my practice. They finally say, enough. I am going to live in a body that works again. And they join Orange Theory, or they double down at the gym, or they get a trainer and they eat keto and they do all these things, which by the way, keto doesn't really work for women. They do all these things and they get less muscle mass,
Yes.
more connective tissue, more fat.
It's insanity
And
making.
it
Like you
is.
start thinking you're crazy. Which, by the way, we will continue to plug this, but there's a story in this book, and actually I think you say it maybe 2 or 3 times, of how women come into your clinic crying when you finally tell them it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
You could
It's
not
your hormones.
journal your way out of it. You can't
Yes.
eat your way out of it. You cannot exercise your way out of it because the body isn't working. It's like your car. There's no gas in it. You can do all the things you want, but it's not going anywhere. And in fact, if you try, you're just going to break other parts of it. And so I got my hormones fixed.
Beautiful.
Within 3 weeks, I was just about pain-free. And that was, I wasn't expecting that. That was great.
In 3 weeks.
3
That's
weeks.
miraculous.
I
right
woke up
there.
and it was like someone stole my pain.
Kimberly,
And I didn't want to
especially
say
after
anything.
going.
I didn't
3 or 4
say
years.
anything for a long time because I thought if I open my mouth, it's going to get taken away.
Right.
I was
Of
terrified because
course.
there's 4 years of I'm in pain.
Oh,
3 weeks later, muscles started coming back. And I had quit going to physical therapy because it was just awful.
It's
And I'm
like pain
doing
for what?
nothing. And I'm getting muscles back. I was like, okay.
And just to be clear, was it the BioT pellet right
It was
away?
the
Like that
BioT
was your
pellet.
first
Yeah, I started with
experience?
testosterone in a pellet.
Okay. And for those on the video, when you saw me do this, like towards my butt, that's where, that's the region we put it in. And of course,
Hip.
we'll get like more details and more in the nitty-gritty as we go through the series, but that's what's happening.
Testosterone for women can be delivered many different ways.
Okay.
Topicals, the pills aren't very good for women. There's a troche that dissolves in the mouth.
Mm.
I don't particularly like those because it can atrophy the gums.
Okay.
And so whenever we have a safer, better version, that's what I'm going to always choose. You can do shots for women. They're not my favorite because you get a lot of injection site irritation.
Oh.
So really in my practice, we focus on creams and pellets. And a
Okay.
cream is obviously a topical, 1 or 2 clicks twice a day, someplace where you're fine with hair growing, because topical testosterone will get that
The hair?
body part to grow hair.
It's follicle.
So we usually say on the labia or the vulva, because there's expected hair there. Definitely not the upper lip, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't hear it. But my personal preference is for
Yeah.
pellets. So I like a pellet delivery. It's once every 3 to 4 months. Most women are 4 months. It's a small subcutaneous implant. It just sits in the fat on the hip. And it's a nice regular delivery mechanism. And then when your heart rate goes up, you get a little boost. So it's endocrine mimicry. So that's what I prefer as a pellet.
Okay.
And that's what I got the first time was a pellet.
Okay.
And boy, did that work beautifully. And it's been a decade. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, wow.
And when I hit menopause, of course, I added in the estrogen. So now I have estrogen and testosterone on board. And I'm doing great. And so that all happened. And then I went, okay, Kaiser, I am not going to come work for you again, because I'd worked for them in internal medicine. And I said, I'm going to open a clinic and see what happens. And we are coming up on 1,400 BioT patients over the last 10 years. And so we've helped 1,400 people get better, men and women.
Amazing.
It's about 65% women, 35% men. We started treating the women and very quickly treated the men, because he would come in saying, I'll have what she's having.
Yep.
Because it went from her not having money to have sex to all of a sudden she wants to have more sex than he wants to have.
And
he wants to catch up.
Yes, absolutely.
So
actually, by the way, my husband Steve was going to somebody to get his pellets originally, but the guy who was doing his pellets said, "Oh, I go to Kimberly Cunningham. Have you heard of her?" And he's like, "Yeah, my wife goes to her." And I was like, and he's like, "Well, why don't I just go to Kimberly?" I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you just go to Kimberly?" So I got his permission. He's happy to say he is a proud customer of Kimberly's as well.
we're very picky about how we treat hormone replacement therapy. I get a lot of labs. I start very conservatively. We start low and then we go up. 10 years ago, when I started Cunningham Clinic, I was one of 3 doing premenopausal HRT in Denver. There really weren't many people doing either pellets or premenopausal HRT. So women who need testosterone before they hit menopause.
Yeah, so I hear the words, but are you suggesting that most people wait till they're in the throes of menopause before they're like, oh, I should do something about that?
Yep. And I want to see
my heart, which is why we're doing this podcast.
I want to see it there. So around age 35. So the average age of menopause for women in the United States is 50.
Okay.
And menopause is the second that you have gone 12 months without a period.
Okay.
Or an ovulatory cycle. So premenopause is from about age 16 when your cycles get regular until around age 45 when things start to get a little irregular. And that's perimenopause. So perimenopause is we've got some irregularity going on, some hormone ups and downs. Hormone whack-a-mole is what I call it. And that can be 5 or even 10 years.
Got it.
Menopause is the second you've gone 12 months without a period. Post-menopause is 1 second later.
1 second later, there you go. Okay.
So
I'm in post-menopause.
Right.
So at the age of 52.
Our society uses menopausal and post-menopausal the same. And that's fine. But medically, there's different lines in the sand. It doesn't matter. Menopause, post-menopause, you're not ovulating anymore. And you need some hormones. And that is when the side effects really come crashing in, because menopause, post-menopause is the absence of estrogen. Perimenopause is actually too much estrogen. And we'll get into that as we go through all of these podcasts. But suffice to say, women should start, and we recommend checking hormone levels around age 35. Because testosterone falls 15 years before estrogen falls. So estrogen stopping is
Okay.
menopause.
Okay.
No more estrogen means no more ovulation.
Okay.
Testosterone falls 15 years before then.
Oh, no wonder.
And
Is that why a lot of us tend to gain the weight like incrementally, and then before we know it, 5 years later, we look up and we're like, how am I 50 pounds overweight?
that's one of the ways.
Okay.
So without testosterone, you don't have muscles.
Okay.
Without muscles, you don't have a resting metabolic rate. And
Okay.
so now it's 800 calories to be a human alive
Mm.
instead of 1500. It's a very sad day in the kitchen.
So I was gonna say, no, thank you. I am
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
not-
starve myself.
no.
No, thank you.
No. So we need testosterone for muscles,
Yes.
for bone density,
Yes.
for sex drive,
Yes.
which is libido, for orgasm quality,
Yes.
to not
No,
get a
that
heart
too.
disease, the number one killer of women. We need testosterone to not get high blood pressure. We need testosterone to not have bad cholesterol. We need testosterone to not get Alzheimer's. Testosterone is the most powerful anti-inflammatory you can put in a human, male or female.
Mm.
And testosterone pellets were originally designed in the late 30s, early 40s
Mm.
for women
Oh,
who
really?
had gone through radical hysterectomy with oophorectomies.
See?
So testosterone was first for women.
And today that makes all the sense in the world.
But in the
Yeah.
late 40s, early 50s, Premarin and Prempro came on, which is an estrogen or estradiol, a medication derived from pregnant horse urine.
Yeah. We've all
How
heard these
desperate must
stories,
that
yes.
person have been to drink the horse urine?
Right.
And then there was this great marketing switch, testosterones for men, estrogens for women at the end. Men need estrogen and women need testosterone. We just need different amounts
It's
because of our
balanced
genders.
differently. Yes. Okay.
But we need both. And so when testosterone falls, all these conditions of inflammation rise, including cancer.
Mm.
So one of the big elephants in the room with hormone replacement therapy, especially 10 years ago when I started this, was, oh, you can't give women hormones because they cause cancer.
That's the pushback I hear from some of my
That's
friends, which
the-
is, again, another
right.
reason I'm doing this podcast. We want the facts,
Facts.
the updated 2025 facts
Yep.
that are still growing, but we have plenty of
So
evidence that shows
Oh, yeah.
this is perfectly healthy, especially when you have somebody reading the labs who knows how to read the labs and knows how to balance it for your body.
and the studies and to do the inferential statistics.
Yes.
So the Women's Health Initiative, one of the arms of that study, was stopped in 2003 because of an uptick in breast cancer.
Mm.
Oh no, don't give women hormones because they're going to get breast cancer. So first of all, that didn't make any sense because estrogen during a pregnancy can go into the thousands, like 4,000 to 6,000 on a
Mm.
blood level, for example. Postmenopausal women, we're trying to get her to 60.
Oh, very different.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
So
Okay.
if breast cancer was caused by estrogen, you would be birthing a tumor with every baby.
Mm.
That doesn't,
That doesn't make sense.
the math did math, the science did science. And so
Yeah.
I went through that immediately and it was just junk. They used the wrong statistical model.
Mm.
They used at-risk women for breast cancer.
Mm.
When they went back 20 years later and reanalyzed the estrogen-only arm of the study. So women got estrogen only. If they didn't have a uterus, they had a uterus, they got estrogen with progesterone to prevent vaginal bleeding.
Got it.
So estrogen makes the endometrial lining thicken, progesterone stabilizes it and keeps it nice and small. When you take away both estrogen and progesterone, you bleed. That's how you get a period.
Oh, okay.
And so the women with hysterectomies, they only got estrogen. And me.
Okay.
They only got estrogen. Those women 20 years later had a 27% reduction in the risk of breast cancer and an over 50% reduction in the risk of invasive breast cancer.
Hello.
So not only does
Yes,
estrogen
okay.
not cause breast cancer, it is breast protective when started as soon as possible during menopause and postmenopause.
Mm. Oh, that is so healing to hear.
None
Okay.
of those women got testosterone, by the way. So European Journal of Breast Health did a study in 2008, I believe,
Okay.
looking at 1,000 women over 10 years who got estrogen and testosterone.
Okay.
Those women had a 68% reduction in the risk of invasive breast cancer. So when you add testosterone,
Hear
which is
that,
anti-inflammatory, which anti-inflammatory equals anti-cancer,
Yes.
it's a massive reduction in the risk of all solid tumor cancers, including breast cancer.
Mm.
So hormones don't cause breast cancer. They are breast protective as
Mm.
well as everything protective, heart protective, brain protective, bone protective, muscle protective, marriage protective,
That's what I was gonna say, yes.
sex protective.
Saves marriages, yes.
Yeah. So Dr. Peter Attia, who is the #1 functional medicine physician in the United States, and he has a podcast called The Drive. It's free for like the first 10 days.
Okay.
And then after that, you have to pay almost $400 a year to get the access to all of them.
Okay.
My clinic pays for that, and we listen to all of this because we are a functional medicine practice.
Yes.
So Cunningham Clinic, by the way, we are a functional medicine and functional wellness practice focusing on healthy aging, hormone balancing, and medical aesthetics. So that's what we do. And so Dr. Attia was one of our keynote speakers at the Hormone Conference a year and a half ago. He's friends with a friend of mine who's the #1 functional medicine physician in Texas, Dr. Corey Rice. And so I have access to these amazing brains, which I love. But he just did a podcast on longevity, and it's called Squaring the Curve.
Okay.
So you're born and then you die, and that's a box, right? You're
Okay.
born, you die, it's a box. And then your health span is really good when you're a baby, and then it starts to decline at some point. In the United States, that decline starts as early as the 40s, which is
surprise me.
1 to 2 decades sooner than our European counterparts.
So
So we're doing some things wrong in the United States.
Yeah.
But in this podcast, they were talking about squaring the curve is keeping your health span as long as your lifespan.
I can sign up for that. Yes,
So
please.
none of us can live past 100. We haven't figured out how to do that in the human body yet. But there are so many things that I do at my practice and that he was talking about in his most recent podcast about squaring that curve. And hormones is one of the top 3 things you can do to square the curve.
Just out of curiosity, do you remember the other 2?
The other 2 is vitamin D.
Oh, okay.
And blood sugar.
Oh, there you go.
So hormones, blood sugar, and vitamin D are the big 3.
Okay. And you helped me with all 3 of those.
Vitamin D is your immune system support.
Okay.
And then blood sugar, when it is too high, is associated with Alzheimer's, metabolic issues, cancer, the big things that kill us, heart disease. The things that kill us, blood sugar is directly correlated to.
Got it.
So vitamin D and testosterone are protective. Blood sugar, when it's too high, is bad for us. So that's where we might reach for a GLP-1 like tirzepatide. We used to reach for metformin and other things to control blood sugar. They're just not panning out to be as protective as the GLP-1s.
Okay.
Yeah. So the big 3 to keep you alive and healthy
and happy
is hormones, vitamin D, and blood sugar control.
Ah.
So the biggest thought leaders in the United States are now out there telling everybody this is safe. Get your hormones balanced. You should. You're not actually giving up anything. Because in that 20-year window, the Women's Health Initiative, the great desert without hormones, literally desert, like the Sahara Desert in the vagina, women would say, well, I'll take the risk of breast cancer because I can't survive like this. And it turns out,
of course, because
they weren't taking any risks. Turns out they were doing other things. So,
well, speaking of other women, I literally had a phone call just on Friday with a friend. She's in her early 40s. And she, like, my heart was totally going out to her because she was saying all the things that I was going through as far as bloating, hot flashes. She was like, I'm working out and I'm still gaining weight. She's like, Michelle, what is happening? And of course, I gave her my Kimberly spiel. And she's like, and at one point, and I'm not giving out names, so I don't think she'll mind me sharing the story, but she's like, one point, my husband was under my car fixing it, and it was so close. Like, he didn't even know how endangered his life was. Because she's so frustrated with her marriage for other things. And I'm like, girl, it's your hormones.
Yes.
Like, get them fixed. So with her story, and then also with mine, like just that painful sex, like, you probably get those stories every day.
Every
in your
day.
clinic, I imagine.
Every day. Women are getting better about talking about sexual dysfunction earlier on in their relationship with my clinic.
Oh, good.
It's, sexual functionality is intimacy. And intimacy takes trust.
Yes.
And usually by the time a woman comes to my clinic, they've tried these conversations like you had with other doctors or providers and either got shut down or got marginalized. And so they don't have trust to have this conversation again. And so a lot of times sexual dysfunction in my clinic, I'll ask about it immediately because I
know
always
you're
do.
good at that. You asked me. Yes.
But sometimes it takes a few visits for women to be able to share that. And here's what's happening. I'm going to summarize the 6th grade ovulatory cycle slide that we all had to read on page whatever of the health book, right?
Please, because I always forget. Like, I always I could probably look that up. I'm like, okay. Just
So in summary, day 1 of your cycle, And I'm not talking about age 13 to 16 where everything is getting revved up and going, or at the end, we'll get to the end. But this is, your 20s, everything's working fine. So day 1 of your cycle is when you start to bleed. So that's day 1. And that's when everything has crashed out. Remember I told you estrogen and progesterone, when you take them away, the lining will shed and you get a period. So estrogen and progesterone start to build back up on day 1, in particular estrogen. So estrogen's building up and up and up on day 1. By day 14, you got a nice thick endometrium, or the layer on the inside of the uterus where, should a pregnancy occur, that egg will implant, right? So you need it's like a lawn. It's a nice, thick, healthy lawn that you want to plant into.
Love that visual. Okay.
And then there's a surge of a couple of other hormones, and that gets the egg to ovulate.
Okay.
That egg pops right out. So that little tiny cyst, an egg is a cell, like it's tiny. That little tiny cyst that's left when that egg pops out is called the corpus luteum. That is where women get 95% of their progesterone from. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
We really are.
The stuff we can do with so little. Here's another example. So
Exquisite.
all of our progesterone comes from that tiny little cyst, that corpus luteum that's left behind. It takes about 14 days for that corpus luteum to degrade and to stop making progesterone. When it stops making progesterone, your ovaries also stop making estrogen. It washes out and you bleed again.
Got it.
That's how that works. So progesterone, remember estrogen thickens the lining. Progesterone keeps it from getting too thick and stabilizes it.
Okay.
What happens when you don't ovulate?
Please tell me.
So women with polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yes.
Perimenopausal women where the brain
painful.
is saying ovulate, 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 but that ovary is starting to age out and it says, I can't this month. I'm going to take the month off. It just doesn't.
So then there's our buildup.
So estrogen doesn't have anything to stop it. And it goes up and up and up and up and up and up. When you are pregnant, you are supposed to gain weight.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 of you to feed.
Exactly.
Twins, right? There's multiple people to feed now.
Right.
So you are supposed to hold on to water so you can make more blood. You are supposed to be ravenous so you can feed more than one human. You're supposed to be in a very different metabolic state. You didn't ovulate. The estrogen is going to keep going up and up and up. That's called estrogen dominance.
Okay.
In the absence of a pregnancy, estrogen dominance is unintended weight gain, fat redistribution, and prediabetes. Blood sugar problems.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It also knocks out your ghrelin leptin feedback loop. So ghrelin and leptin are the parts of your body that say, I'm hungry and I'm full.
Got it.
So ghrelin is feed me now, I'm going to die.
I was thinking like
Gremlin.
when I read it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In my mind, I think gremlin. I'm like, eat me, eat me. I'm like, oh, the gremlins are going. Yes.
And then leptin is, I'm done. We can stop. It takes 20 minutes of a full stomach's stretch receptors to get the brain to make enough leptin for you to stop eating, which is why slow eating is one of those really beneficial things. It's one of the reasons why it's believed that Europeans don't have the obesity that Americans have. Europeans do not eat on the move. They don't eat in their car. They don't eat or drink while they're walking. They sit and they have a slow meal.
Yes.
And so there's time for the stomach to say, we're all full up, you can stop.
Process and digest.
In estrogen dominance, you might not ever get enough leptin to tell you you're full. Ever.
Again, that goes back to the weight gain. And
So
I remember those cravings where I just could not eat enough ice cream, enough cookies, enough all the things I was craving. And I was like, I'm still hungry.
It has to be salt, fat, sweet. Yes.
So that's our hormones.
Perimenopausal estrogen dominance is just like polycystic ovarian syndrome, just without a couple of other markers. And so women with polycystic ovarian syndrome often have weight gain, fat redistribution, diabetes. It's also called metabolic syndrome X. And so often to manage polycystic ovarian syndrome, or for women in perimenopause to manage that, they're given combined birth control pills. Estrogen and progesterone. Isn't that nice? We're going to regulate your hormones. Well, the problem is oral estrogen knocks out your free testosterone. Gone.
And so that means you don't have the access to the
muscles,
the
no
bones.
libido, bone density,
yes.
sex drive, no innervation of the clitoris, no blood flow to the clitoris.
Yeah.
So that's not
all happening
better
to me.
Right.
At all.
Not better.
Not at all.
So the fix in American gynecological care is not actually fixing the problem.
It's like masking it and making it worse and then keeping us suffering. And then we look at each other. It's like, well, are you suffering? I'm suffering. Oh, it must be just what we're meant to do at this age. We just all have to suffer together.
So
And no.
perimenopause weight gain is typically an estrogen dominant problem.
Okay.
And that's going to be around age 40 to 50.
Okay.
And in the United States, it's 2 pounds per year.
Oh, well.
So up to 20 pounds between age 40 and 50 because of this estrogen whack-a-mole. And some months it's too low, by the way. So sometimes it's like you put your foot on the gas and it's way too much, and sometimes there's zero.
His
And
body is like so confused. Like,
and women
what
can
is
have
happening
hot
here?
flashes, and women can have vaginal dryness.
Mhm.
And then the next month they have too much estrogen. So the fix is going to someone who understands the physiology of what's happening and how to balance all of that. And then post-menopause, which is 1 second after 12 months of no periods, which is typically age 50 to 60 in the United States.
Okay.
That is the estrogen's gone now.
Okay.
Without estrogen, there are over 80 symptoms of menopause that are recognized. Hot flashes, vaginal dryness, dry, wrinkly skin, and really fragile skin are ones that are the most commonly discussed. But what's not discussed are heart palpitations, thyroid imbalance. There's lots
Depression, anxiety. I went through that.
deep hip pain.
Yes, I've been hearing that as well.
Rape.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to kill my husband.
Yes. He needs to step away from
Right.
the car. Yes.
So all of those are associated with estrogen being totally taken away. In a woman's body, when you take away estrogen completely, cortisol will take its place.
And that's the stress hormone, right?
Cortisol is your stress hormone. Now,
shoot.
some cortisol.
Sure.
It gets you to wake up in the morning. People without any cortisol are in a different kind of trouble.
Sure.
But you want your cortisol to be a nice, predictable, peaks kind of mid-morning, starts to decline throughout the day, maybe a little peak around dinner time, and then it's gone. So that
you can sleep.
adenosine, which is how you sleep, can take its place.
Okay.
But when you don't have any estrogen or estradiol at all, cortisol becomes very high.
Oh, shoot.
And now you're in this hyper stress mode, which is weight gaining, bloating, bad skin, pre-diabetes,
losing friends and relationships because you're mad all the time.
So first you have too much estrogen, and then you have too much cortisol,
Oh.
and it's another 2 pounds per year on average in the United States. So it's up to 40 pounds between age 40 and 60. That is not anyone's fault. It's not something they can journal their way out of. It's not something they can eat or exercise their way out of. These are recognized metabolic, dysbiotic states that need medicine interventions to balance. And you have to go to somebody who knows how to work in these states to work with the body so you can get back to homeostasis or balance. I'm not trying to force bodies into anything abnormal. I want to get them back into balance about age 30 to 35. That's what we're trying to do.
And that, I love that you say that because that's how I feel. I mean, I'm 52, but I'm telling you, I feel better than before my 40s. And I felt pretty good in my 40s, but I'm like, I am a spring chicken right now.
I'm 54, almost 55, and I feel stronger than before my injury. Yes. I was running triathlons then.
And so I also want to touch on, because you just now said the medicine. And so the specific medicine that I'm on is tirzepatide, which has helped me lose weight, to balance my blood sugar, and I'm sure a million other things. But to folks who are new to this world, can you tell us just a little bit more about the tirzepatide versus is it semaglutide and versus Ozempic and all the things? Like, obviously, we don't need to get too granular, but what are some of the questions that come to you around the weight loss GLP-1s?
And we should get a little bit granular.
Okay.
There's only 2 medications right now in the United States.
Okay.
One is called semaglutide and the other is called tirzepatide, and those are their generic names.
Okay.
Each one has 2 different brand names,
Got it.
just to make it confusing.
I know. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to stick in there with you. Okay.
Semaglutide is Ozempic, the original.
Okay. Got it.
Tirzepatide is Mounjaro, the newer one.
Okay.
And there's also Wegovy and Zepbound. They have different names.
Okay.
But basically, I'm going to go back to something called a peptide. Peptides aren't hormones, they're just other things in our body. So peptides are responsible for lots of different things, including glucose or sugar or carbohydrate metabolism, use, and elimination.
Okay.
The easiest one to know is insulin. Everybody knows about insulin. And if you don't have insulin, you're a type 1 diabetic. And if you're insulin resistant, that's type 2. diabetes.
Got it.
And that comes with beating your cells up with too much blood sugar over time. And so they start to downregulate those insulin receptor sites as a preservation mechanism.
Okay.
Now, insulin is
Wait, because type 2 is what you can create on your
Uh-huh.
own versus born with? Is that
type 1 is juvenile onset, typically born with.
okay?
Type 2 is a process over time of too much blood sugar.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to say you create it on your own because there's lots of metabolic things that do it for you that
Got
you
it.
can't really
Yeah,
control.
yeah. And that sounds
So-
kind of punitive. I'm definitely not
Yeah.
judging.
We know of
All of our systems
2
are
and now
different.
3 more peptides. There's
Oh.
probably more
Oh,
responsible for sugar use and elimination.
okay.
So insulin takes sugar,
Mhm.
which is the same thing as carbohydrates, out of our bloodstream and into the cells
Okay.
because your cells need sugar to do things, to work. It's energy.
Mhm.
And then we also know of GLP. So GLP-1 is the class of medication that includes semaglutide and tirzepatide.
Okay.
So GLP, glucagon-like peptide, is another peptide responsible for sugar use, metabolism, and elimination. GIP, gastric inhibin peptide, is another one.
Okay.
And just 2 weeks ago was a publication on a 4th peptide specific to the brains. So in our brain, you have your neurons, which are the cells in your brain. And then there are also glial cells, which are the support cells
Okay.
of the neurons in your brain. And it's called ODN, octodeca neuropeptide.
Oh, wow. How this stuff
Don't
stays
worry.
in your brain is a miracle.
There won't be a
Okay.
test. There are tests
It's a
later.
miracle for me.
Let's call it
Okay.
ODN. So ODN is how our brain
Okay.
uses and eliminates sugar. Now, your brain is 3% of your body mass, and it takes over 20% of your calories to run it.
Say that again. It takes over 20%
Of the
what
calories you eat
to feed my brain.
to run your brain. It's a giant computer. Takes a lot of energy.
Okay.
So if you think
following.
about metabolic dysbiosis, prediabetes,
Mhm.
which is age 40 to 60 for a lot of women,
Mhm.
not every woman goes through this,
Sure.
but it's very common in the United States to have this 20 to 40 pound weight gain over these 2 decades.
And specifically with Black women too, right?
Women of
Because
color
we're
are
so-
woefully undertreated for blood sugar abnormalities.
yeah.
I don't know if it is a risk of the history or if it's poor screening.
A combo of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pre-diabetes is pre-Alzheimer's
Mm.
because your brain, it has a 4 to 5-fold or more increase being under attack when your blood sugar runs too high.
Ah, that's so scary.
Right.
Yeah.
So we screen, it's called a hemoglobin A1C. I get it on every patient at least once a year, sometimes more often, because I can use, and I prefer tirzepatide, by the way, because tirzepatide is GLP and GIP.
Okay.
It's a much more elegant solution. I can use it in lower doses. We don't get a lot of side effects. The semaglutide or the Ozempic, it's cheaper, kind of, but the projectile vomiting, the nausea, and the constipation, and the acid reflux it's really bad. I have 350 people on tirzepatide and 10 on semaglutide.
I was gonna say thank you for saving
Yeah,
me
I
from
don't-
that because I didn't have any side effects.
And
on
because-
tirzepatide.
Because we can use a really low dose, it winds up not being very expensive. And once you buy the Pepcid and the antacids and the nausea medicine and the Covalex, the semaglutide, and they're not expensive, right?
Right.
So I prefer the
Saving all that money.
tirzepatide.
Yeah.
For medical weight loss, for so long, it was seen as, oh, it's a Hollywood quick fix. It's cheating.
Yep.
You really should just work out harder. Or have you thought about cutting carbs?
Yep.
You would never tell an insulin dependent diabetic, oh, stop your insulin.
Right.
And also, most people that I have on this medication will stay on it because what they had was metabolic dysbiosis. They had a diagnosis of overweight or obesity, but the cause wasn't the kitchen. The cause was the metabolic disaster that needed a medication. You also wouldn't tell someone with high blood pressure, you responded beautifully to that blood pressure medication and your blood pressures are normal. Let's quit.
Right.
You
That
would
makes
never
no
do that.
sense.
So most people
No,
stay on a
good
very
point.
low maintenance dose of this medication. And I use this as a tool for perimenopause weight gain,
Perfect.
post-menopause weight gain.
Perfect. Like me.
I also use this medication for polycystic ovarian syndrome in younger women. It increases fertility.
Oh.
So when you take the sugar
Yes.
inflammation out of the body, we can get more regular ovulatory cycles.
Perfect.
I use this in women with endometriosis.
Oh,
Endometriosis is both estrogen and blood sugar reactive. Endometriosis is basically menstrual blood that's refluxed into the body cavity and now makes these little tendrils of scar tissue that like to attach to the bowel and pull,
oh gosh.
which is
Oh,
painful
right. I'm like,
and can
ouch.
cause bowel obstructions and constipation and lots of issues, including pelvic floor pain with intercourse. Well, that's not better.
No.
So if I can run them on a lower dose of estrogen and a mild, really tiny dose of tirzepatide, many of these women have no weight to lose. But if I put them on just enough of tirzepatide to get their A1C below about 5.3, all of their pelvic floor pain goes away.
Yes.
And they can stay out of the OR. They don't have to keep getting all these adhesions removed surgically. So it's a tool. Women and men with high cholesterol, if they also have high blood sugar, the high cholesterol is probably an inflammatory response to the high blood sugar. If I can use this medication as a tool to bring down their blood sugar, most of the time their cholesterol improves, which is great. So it's a tool, just like other medications are tools to use. And if someone needs to lose weight and I have a medication to help them fix the problem that got them into a larger body size, that is not cheating. That is good medicine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
Related. Well, one more question,
Yeah.
and then we need to close out before we move on with our days. But I remember you said something about during the pandemic times, I think you were calling it, was it Alzheimer's? Or you called it, something, diabetes type 3, I think you were
Yes.
saying, with how much all of us were sitting in front of the TV, eating food, and like all of our sugars were like out of control.
Could be because of lifestyle changes during that time. Could also be because that virus changed us.
Yes.
So before COVID, we would get a fasting blood sugar once a year.
Okay.
And you would ask me to give everybody a takeaway from today's session. So
Yes, please.
today, the takeaway is know your numbers and know what your labs are. And if you're not sure what labs, they're on my website, and we'll put a link to that. Very specific, very thorough labs. If you just go to the doctor once a year and they do the basic 4 panels, it's not enough information. You have no idea if you're healthy or not. But the hemoglobin A1C is now the standard of care according to the Institutes of Medicine, the American Academy of Family Physicians, because there are people out there with fasting blood sugars that are normal, about 85.
Okay.
We would have no concern that they would be type 2 diabetic with a fasting blood sugar of 85. And then their hemoglobin A1C, which is a 3-month average of blood sugars, is in the pre-diabetic, almost type 2 diabetic range.
Oh.
We didn't ever see that before COVID. We never saw that before COVID. So either the recommendations were based on inaccurate groups, but I don't think so. These are pretty robust labs that we've been doing for decades and decades and decades. Or the COVID virus, whether you caught it or were vaccinated against it, that spike protein got you one way or the other, might have changed things. But suffice to say, the only way to check blood sugar is with a hemoglobin A1C. That's the only way we do it. You don't even have to be fasting anymore for my labs. Doesn't matter. Have your coffee.
And that's one of the main reasons I send my friends your way, because you are so thorough with the lab results.
Well, and
it's amazing.
And then the last thing is, make sure you go to a hormone expert.
Yeah.
Gynecological residency programs in the United States. So if you're going to be an OBGYN, you go through 3 or 4 years of medical school and another at least 4 years of a residency, longer if you're going to do pelvic reconstructive surgery, if you're going to double board certify. So OBGYNs, 30% of the OBGYN residency programs in the United States have peri and postmenopausal hormone education.
Okay.
1 in 3. So 2 out of 3 has 0. None hormone care.
Ridiculous.
And of the 1 in 3 or 30 to 33% of the programs that have peri and postmenopausal hormone balancing, the grand total in all 4 years of learning how to do this is less than 7 hours.
No. That is redonkulous.
Yes.
And that would explain why my doctor's like, here, just try the estrogen. Basically, just get out of my office. Stop complaining.
Well, also, gynecologists typically see 30 to 40 patients a day, so she doesn't have time, or he doesn't have time. So, it's not enough to just go to the gynecologist and say, I'm having pain in my vagina. You would think the vagina doctor would know about how to not have pain in your vagina
Yes.
with sexual intercourse. But
I like that. I'm going to start calling her the vagina doctor.
unless they've done extra
Vagina
training,
doctor.
they don't have the time, they don't have the know-how, they don't have the options in the office. Remember I told you they'll just throw some combined birth control pills at women?
Yeah.
All that does is increase sex hormone binding globulin, and there goes your testosterone.
Ugh.
That is not better. We need our testosterone.
Yes.
And we talked about earlier as to why.
Yes.
So having a hormone expert is really important. BioT is a company that I teach for, and they do hormone certifications, but there isn't a board certification in hormone health. So those of us out here doing it are creating it.
Thank
But
you.
it doesn't quite exist yet. But I do teach, like I said, at 2 universities and for BioT, and I teach as many as I can. But making sure that who you're going to has done extra work in peri, menopausal, and postmenopausal hormone balancing for women. Otherwise, you're not likely to get as complete care as you could. So know your numbers and go to someone who's a hormone expert.
And also, buy the book.
Yes,
I can't even say this.
Lots of information.
Yes, this is seriously a page turner.
Lots of fun stories.
I've read through this 3 times. I'm not even exaggerating. You have free copies in her clinic, and so I always grab a few to give to my friends as they come over for dinner. I'm like, hey, I just like slip this in their purses. I'm like, you got to read it. And of course, there's a new one coming very soon.
It should be in publication by November 1st.
Okay. Well, stick around because guess what? Next episode, we are going to be talking about sex, one of my favorite topics.
Yes, let's have some.
Yes, believe me. So, yes, great sex never gets old is the title. We're going to get into the nitty gritty next episode. So, please come back, like this episode, review this episode, tell your friends because we do not want women suffering.
No.
That is the number one reason we are showing up for you, for us, because there's no reason for us to be suffering. So we're going to get our numbers checked. We're going to be asking more questions. We're going to be having these conversations with girlfriends. No more is this going to be a secret. We're going to be talking as much as we need to so that none of our friends are suffering. And we're just going to continue the conversation. So come back. Is there anything I'm missing? Anything you want to add before we say goodbye for now?
No, just stay tuned because we're also going to talk about how to buy a vibrator.
Oh, yes.
Gotta go shopping.
I am here for that.
Talk about all the things.
Well, Kimberly, thank you. Thank you for all the work you're doing. Thank you for sharing your information with us. Thank you for everything you've done for me, for my body, for my marriage, for, of course, healthy marriage affects the children, like it's generational. Just thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to Nourish with Michelle Fox. Were you driving, folding laundry, or maybe walking around the neighborhood? Perfect. I've got you covered with show notes over at michellefox.com/podcast. When you're ready, you will also find resources to support what you've learned in today's conversation, plus a few health supportive freebies waiting just for you. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you left a review on whichever podcast platform you're currently listening from. Your support helps me continue my mission of building healthier communities. This 8-part series is my effort to help more women stop suffering in silence and start feeling strong, confident, and seen. I am grateful to be on this journey with you. Big love.